Hey there, my fellow arena fighters, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ratopia, Episode 10, Pit Fighting. So the bell tower is like an alarm tower, which warns your citizens of impending attacks. As long as you have like a pretty decent defense force and gates and traps, you probably don't need one. Maybe not until like later on when the attack types are a bit different. Because we've been facing just like zombie rats, but they do differ later on. Where it's not just like zombie rats forever. And then in terms of priorities, you got a few more minutes to vote on them. Oh, one thing I meant to do was to start obtaining more leaves, because we are out of leaves, which becomes... So either we need to start grass farming, or to farm the leaves up in this tree level, because we're going to run out of fabric otherwise. So once there's more Rhadamants that are not saddled with a bunch of other work, we can collect this grass and start to resupply. It does look like the dew-web infrastructure is... Yeah, it's there. So the way you want to lay these out is you want the dew-web collector to have a free block... Oh. Highland Timber, I don't know why you're sleeping there. You're not actually stuck. But to have a free block below it so the water that is collected from the dew can drip. So the way it looks like is like this, where you have the dew webs dripping down below into the well. So I bought a lot of webs. I bought enough webs that it will probably have all the dew web collectors that we really need, I hope. And then we can start filling up our water wells so that we can start to farm the other things that we need, like grass or flowers or whatever else. All right, looks like welfare and needs is going to win out. So there is a question that I have for you guys. There is two different types of welfare needs. So one thing I could be working towards is joy. What to work on? Joy or necessities? So joy is just means getting a hospital and an arena up. Necessities means starting to fulfill things like pottery, leather sacks, bat potions, oil, candles, and regen potions. And this will, once fulfilled, and once our citizens have amassed enough wealth, unlock the middle class. So the choice is yours between joy or necessities. I have a lot more cogs, so even though it's not what was voted on right now, I'd like to add additional lift stations because I have the materials to do it. That way, fast transport between floors is going to be a lot easier to get. Although I'm almost out of planks. I guess that's the bottleneck. Optimistic and frugal? With gold ore? Sure. Another raffle timer. And that was the first gold ore we ever got. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. So another raffle timer for Ori. And slowly moving all of my other Radizans up into soft beds. Out from down here. I'm also going to want a roof at some point, so we stop flooding this area. That's going to look ugly eventually. Because I know we're low on grass or fabrics. I'll get some of it myself. Steel boot, you just became a criminal? Weren't you a criminal pretty recently? Well, unlucky for you, you are locked up now. So, let's call this poll. We're gonna go with joy. So, what I want to do is a few different things. One, it's annoying to have to manage the misbehaviors myself. So I'm gonna get a police station. And I find that setting up the police station adjacent to the circus is nice, because the cop has sort of like a sphere of influence of like, don't break the law. So having the police station adjacent to it means that anyone that goes to the circus stand will also have this sort of like don't break bad sphere of influence, which is useful to have. There is a downside, which is the police station makes noise, so it could be annoying to just be around them as they like are kind of a noisy object. But, you know, oh well. In the name of efficiency, oh well. We are really hurting for grass, so I'll bring this back down. So yeah, you can see the dewebs in action now, where they collect water and then they drip. Perfect. And as soon as I get more lumber, I'll build the other two here. Actually, I misplaced that. And within no time, our giant rain collector will probably be pretty full of water. It doesn't really take much to many dew collectors in order to trigger that. Provide more joy is my current priority. So the other thing I want to do is I want to move the school next to the prison, so that I can start putting the arena and hospitals here on this level. Cthulhu, let's get you named. So in order to move the school, I need 8 more lumber, and I know I just spent it. So once we get a little bit more lumber, we'll set that up. A lot of our progress right now is bottlenecked on lumber, as I've noticed. But that will get fulfilled soon. It might be time to consider farming grass, because it seems like we aren't able to provide enough grass in order to provide fabrics. So even though it wasn't something necessarily voted on, it's definitely a need to have. So I'm going to try to solve some of that deficit now. And then once we have the planks also set up. So we need like 16 lumber for both grass and for the grass farm and also the new school. And then once I build the new school, I can destroy the old school. And recover that lumber to make more beds or whatever. So let's get a policeman in, so I don't have to be the one to manage all the criminals anymore. We will assign Alley K. And anytime there's a criminal, there's one prison cell in the police station, but generally speaking, unless you have a really large population, that one prison cell is going to be enough. And they will automatically arrest that individual and then transport them to the prison where they get reformed. And it's an automatic process that I'm not going to have to micromanage. Much like, you know, once you get some combatants to help fight for you and you get maintenance workers to repair buildings, it gets to a point where a lot of the micromanagement gets doled out to your Radizans rather than you as the monarch or queen having to do it yourself. Okay, we have a fight coming. I am... So I'm going to need to switch to the chain armor before the fight starts, but I have added a bunch more traps to the subsection. So this next fight should be going pretty smooth, I suspect. Unless it's like a wildly harder attack. There's always that possibility, I suppose. Another thing that might be nice when I'm not in combat situations to get a power belt to allow me to lift more stuff. We don't have a butchery to do the like a tannery for it yet, which would be needed, but that would be a nice to have for sure. So the school fits in here, and then I might want to put like the totem pole here, just because there's not a lot of stuff that's a 1x1 to get in there. So I'm going to wait till the new school's built to destroy the old school so that there isn't a gap in Joy's service. But let's get ready for the fight. It's coming. Chainmail's on, and we're good to go. So that's the whistling I'm talking about, Alley K, where they, I'll read the facility so that you know. Prevents the user from committing crime. It adds attack power to them, it adds movement speed, and then it rehabilitates criminals automatically so that I don't need to do it. And this is their working radius. So it's gonna rehabilitate basically everyone because everyone's beds falls within the radius of the police station. Looks like the surface attack has already been managed, so everything else is subterranean. And the traps have served us well. This has been pretty easy to defend against. Mostly, my citizens running around these enemies, the enemies, they will flee fast enough that they generally don't get knocked and damaged and dangerously wounded during these types of attacks. Meaning that you don't need to necessarily ring the like danger bell and recall your people. You can have them just keep working. And as soon as they go to sleep, they will passively recover whatever health they lost. So it's not all that needed to halt production during the attacks, as long as you have a decent amount of defenders and traps and all that. So that was managed, no problem. Let's switch the teacher over. So this is Ink. So we're gonna have Ink work in the new school. I think it might be time to move the tax office and the shrine so that I can also put other services on this level. So tax office will go up yonder. You know, maybe I'll put a prison down there. Yeah, I'll put a prison down there. So I'll put the shrine up here with the tax office up here. And then move this prison down to the school. So that if we ever have a situation where we have like too many criminals at once, I can use the prison instead. And for role-playing reasons, I like to stick the prison right next to the school so that they rehabilitate in a hilarious way. Oh, we have a little quest opportunity here in a second. Steel Boots trying to talk to me. Yeah, okay, he's just saying, hey, you should build a tax office. And I'm only being prompted with that because I temporarily had moved mine. So, can be ignored. I forget who our tax collector was, though. But they're going to need to get reemployed. What's funny is because I temporarily got a quest for that. Alright, let's have Rylus do it. Because I temporarily had a quest for that, everyone got a little happier, me fulfilling that. Nice little freebie, I suppose. Alright, I've been a little slow to supply that extra joy, so let's get to that now. So I want a hospital. So the advantage of the hospital is the hospital will automatically deploy a healthcare worker, let's call them, to rescue severely wounded people. And the reason I like to pair that with the arena is when the arena fighters fight, they fight kind of to the unconscious, often, where they'll knock each other fully unconscious, which is really annoying unless you have hospital workers, because then what ends up happening is you, as the monarch or whatever, have to constantly go rescue them, which is labor intensive, and if you're deep in a mine or somewhere else, you won't get there in time and they'll just die, which is obnoxious. The reason you typically want two of them is if one of the hospital workers happens to be using the arena and they themselves get knocked out, no one will rescue them. So it's annoying, but I usually pair them in doubles so that if that happens, the other hospital worker can help them. Because what ends up happening is you have the arena worker battle random people. So it will never be a situation where two hospital workers will duke it out in the arena. It will always be whoever is running the arena and a hospital worker. Or someone else. Because they like to fight. So, in order to avoid unnecessary frustration, it's nice to have two hospitals. So that's what I'm getting set up now. So here's one of the hospitals. The hospital also requires medicine, so we're going to need to start producing medicine, I just realized. And that would be in a pharmacy. So let's get a pharmacy built. I want to put my pharmacy maybe I'll put it on this level. So we'll get the pharmacy going as well. So then next to the hospital will be the arena. And then on the other side of the arena, the other hospital. Once that bed has been replaced. This was our meat storage, and I'm just going to be moving it so that we can instead put beds on this level, because we're running out of spots for beds. Whoever's sleeping there is going to be temporarily displaced. I think it was JD. I need more materials for the other hospital. Oh, we're getting them quick. Oh, here's Ali K automatically arresting someone and sticking them, Amris, sticking him in the prison cell to reform him. Meaning that I didn't have to micromanage that myself, which is wonderful because it becomes a bit much to have to constantly do it yourself. I think we have enough cogs for enough of the lift stations, so I'm going to turn off cogwheels as something to continually manufacture. One thing to notice is we've been hovering around about 500-ish food. We've been more or less like breaking even now. Just to keep in mind with like if our population expands, we're gonna want to add a butchery or add some other like food acquisition. Some other food source. Or trade for it, I suppose. You could always trade for it. Alright, I do have a freed up bed. So let's move one more bed up top. Whoever sleeps here. So I did see that the arena got built. Nice. Oh, no one was sleeping there? Really? That was a bed that was assigned to someone. I destroyed it. Or no, maybe it actually hasn't been destroyed yet. I just queued it up to be... No, it got destroyed. Alright, you know what? I'm going to destroy all these beds. I'm sure people would be displaced, but we'll put them back into new beds soon. There we go. Yeah. So we need 2 more beds. I can only afford one of them. Monetarists, elitists, yeah, those aren't great people to have. Setting it away. So in order to start making the medicine, let's put Highland Timber in here. Medicine is grass, flowers, and charcoal, which is probably the easiest recipe to fulfill, but it does mean that we should probably start farming grass and petals, or flowers. There's also bat potions, which is a necessity item, but that requires us to start ranching bats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this down for now. And then as soon as we have the grass and flower farms running, we can start to make medicine for the hospital to run. But that's going to require a little bit more grass collected. Although I can probably start the florists. Yeah, so I can start florists now. And they work very much the same way that the grain does, where you get flowers, or you get the grass from water inputs and labor. All right, this is going to hurt a little bit, but it's fine. Donk. We need the leaves really, really badly. And I figured I was going to survive that fall. I took more damage than I thought. But I'm not dead, so that's good. I thought it was going to fall a little bit less than that. Let's hop in the bed and heal. So I'm building this dirt platform really only to collect more leaves, because that's been a bottleneck. And then as soon as we have the enough leaves collected, we can start to just farm for it, and then it will be far less of a recurring issue. Hopefully I have enough now. I do. Perfect. Hey, Joint, thank you for the resub. Do I have the materials for the last hospital? I do. Only just, but still. So this will be the last of the lower class joy required. Like, there are no other joy buildings for the lowest class besides the arena, the circus, and the school. Those are the low class joy facilities. And pretty soon, those will be ready to go. So here's the grass field. We'll give that to Highland Timber. And the florist is almost done. It might be worth, now that we have those built or building, to make sure that we add as many webs as we have webs for, and possibly even buy more webs so that we can have plenty of water. Because doubling the amount of farms that we have will double our water use. I'm also sort of changing the layout here, and the reason I'm doing that is so that I can add another water tank here and have it not have two farms next to one another, which is useful. And just harvesting some of the treetops so we're not grass poor. So the florist is probably done. Yeah, it's done. So in a minute here, it will be time. Who should work this? Maybe water. It will be time to set up our lovely medicine production. Which is also going to indirectly sort of help out with our military. Because if anyone gets knocked out, they will be rescued and recovered in the hospital. Without us having to micromanage that as well. So, Cthulhu, I'm going to set you up as the pharmacist. And you're going to be making medicine out of flowers, grass, and charcoal. The other thing that we're going to need, because I'm adding 2 hospitals and an arena, is we're going to need more Radizans in our population just to simply fulfill those work jobs. So, you know, you're actually okay. Bring you in and raffle you off. They're hardy, which is kind of nice to have as an arena worker. So I think what I'll do is I'll employ them now. And then if anyone gets fatally wounded, I can just micromanage it. So the brand new person, Nelly, is going to be our arena worker. And then I can put in 1 medic. And I'll put in fast movers, because it's nice to have your medics be able to pick up, rescue people quickly. So the hospital is showing that it doesn't have medicine available, but sooner or later, the person working as a pharmacist will produce that. So I'm not too worried about that. So here, as you can see, Oscar is dueling Nelly with Rylus watching, and this is for Joy. So this is the last Joy fulfillment needed. Which means I need a new task. So, polls up. Now, there is a bit of advantage to having, like, double facilities, because, for instance, your circus worker can't actually go to the circus themselves. Same with your school worker. I don't think it's necessary, my 2 cents. Like, it's a little overkill to have double of everything, just so that each person can have that kind of level of fulfillment. Because it becomes a lot less needed once you get a little bit later on in the tech tree, once people start entering the middle class, because there's a larger list of middle class Joy interactions. So if you take a look here at Joy, you have the basic Joy, but of 3, right? But then you know, once you enter the middle class, there's pubs, there's art, there's music, there's snail racing, you know. So once you have middle class workers, especially if your arena, circus worker, and school becomes middle class, they end up with a lot more Joy fulfillment opportunities than just the basic 3. So I don't find it all that needed to you know, max that out or anything like that. And so far, we haven't had any casualties as a result of the arena, which is good. So we did need new migrants. so that we can fill up all of our facilities and still have general laborers left over. So hopefully, intelligent and a crier, I can live with that. Crier is only really a problem once they hit like a really low morale level, and hopefully that's a morale level I can avoid. So we are raffling off 2 people rather than 1. So we have Nelly and Maggie, both, to be raffled in about a minute. And tonight is a combat night. Noted. Thank you for tuning in to Ratopia, which originally streamed live on Twitch, February 6th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch a next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Ratopians.